Hello there, John Hall here from Right Here Pens, and 5 pens from under £75. Interesting price point. It's probably not your first fountain pen. You're probably looking for something a little bit extra, a little bit above the normal. And so I've chosen 5 pens here. I wouldn't necessarily say they were the best, but they're certainly interesting pens. And if that's the sort of price point you're looking at, well worth considering. So without too much further ado, let's go and have a look at what I've chosen, and I'll try to explain why I've chosen them. Okay then, this is them. So what I've chosen is a Clio Scribent Classic with a steel nib and cartridge converter feed, a Twisty 580 OWL, and this one is in green. It's a special edition which they do from time to time with special colours. We've got a Conklin Graph. This comes in all sorts of colours actually. Again, cartridge converter. This is the Lambie Ion, which strangely enough does come in a couple of colours for a fairly limited period. Also comes in black, but we've got a red and a blue one in stock at the moment. Very nice looking too. And this is rather different. This is an eyedropper filler from a company called Opus 88 in Taiwan. So we're going to have a look at each one in series in a bit more detail. So I'm going to move these off the park, and we're going to start with the most expensive pen, which unsurprisingly is exactly £75. So here we are. Now, as you'll see, it's a very traditional looking pen. Very traditional. This is what fountain pens are meant to look like. It also comes, as well as this rather nice white colour, in burgundy and black. And this version has got palladium appointments. So let's have a closer look. Feels very good in the hand, not overly thick. This is a broad nib, it's a steel nib, so we'll have a look at that. There we go. And there's not a converter in this one, but it does come with a converter. As you'll see, nice steel to steel fitting here, and it does take a standard screw-in converter, which is a nice touch. There we are. So if it's a very traditional look and very high quality, I mean these people at Clio Scribent, German company, they make extremely good fountain pens. And this is one of them. It is a steel nib, but it's an exceptionally smooth one. So there we have the Clio Scribent Classic at £75. Just under, for the time being, £75 is this one, and you'll see that this is an Opus 88. Now this again comes in various different colours, and there are different models. This particular model is called the Picnic. Isn't that nice? It suggests you can take it out in the country and write while eating. Now, like all of the best Taiwanese pens, as you can see here, it has a steel nib, but it is in fact a Jovo steel nib. Actually, it's similar to the Clio Scribent that we just looked at. But what's particularly interesting about this pen is that it is an eyedropper. As the cognoscenti amongst you will realise, when you see, there we are, a rubber gasket round there. So to fill this pen, you take, it's actually a little syringe that they provide. Get this out of the way, I'll tell you about that in a moment. And you just drop the ink straight in. And as you can see, there's an awful lot of room for ink in here. Now, it is actually a Japanese style eyedropper, and what you've got in here is an ink control valve. So you will see that as I unscrew this, it just moves back down, and that opens the valve at the bottom of the pen to allow the ink to flow freely. And then I'll screw it back up again, and that would stop the ink flow entirely. So one of the problems of eyedroppers has been combated with this particular model, because you can shut the ink flow off. Consequently, when it's not in use, you won't get any unfortunate disorderly exits of ink. So there we go. Good brand, again, nicely made, very nicely made. Interesting colours, and for under £75, well, pretty much exactly £75 actually, well worthy of your consideration. Now for this pen, we're going down to below £50. We'll take that off. And this is a Lambie. I'm never quite sure how to pronounce this. It's the Lambie A-I-O-N. Now, Ion would be one way of pronouncing it, but that's actually a word that goes I-O-N. Aeon? Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, what's interesting about this one? Well, again, cartridge converter. Converter not supplied on this occasion. It's a pen with a bit of weight, actually, in spite of the fact that it's made of aluminium. And there's a fascinating video that I think we've got a link to on our website that shows these being made, because they're actually drilled out of a solid bar of aluminium. There we go, and obviously a nice finish like this. There's also a matte black one, and there's a special edition of red and blue, which we have at the moment. Now, this is unusual amongst Lambie pens, because it doesn't have the classic Z50 nib. It has a different nib, and I quite like it. It's available in extra fine up to broad, and although it is a different shaped nib to the Z50, it is actually totally compatible. So if you decided you wanted to put, for instance, one of the joy nibs on this, you would be able to do that. It is cartridge converter. It takes the black Lambie converter, and I'm afraid I forget exactly what the number is for that, but it's not the one that goes into the school pens, the safaris and so forth, which, as I'm sure you know, is red. There we go. So, posts, comfortable, very nice indeed actually. The textures are very pleasant here. I think the only other thing that I want to draw your attention to is the clip action. You might have spotted me trying to unscrew it, shows how much I know. But also a sprung clip here. So, a nice touch. A fairly upmarket touch actually on a pen under 50 quid. So, I like this. There we go. So that is the Lambie Ion, whatever. Right, for those who like a very traditional look, let's have a look at this. This is a Conklin Graph. And again, we've got lots of different colours available in it. Nibs in fine, medium and broad. You can tell it's a Conklin by the way it says Conklin round there. And what else does it say here? Doesn't say anything much actually, it's just a pattern. There we go. So, now, this is a fairly bright red with a black cap and black knob and black bits and pieces. Conklin nibs are pretty good actually, fine, medium, broad, and if you're lucky you can probably get a stub as well. Cartridge converter, there we go, and I think these are around 60 quid at the moment. If you want one for 60 quid, I would probably suggest you buy it relatively soon, because sooner or later the pound's fall against the dollar is going to impact upon prices. But there we go, there we go. I doubt that'll spark a mad rush for pens, but there we are. So there we go, the Conklin Graph. around 60 quid. And finally, just under 60 quid, is this chap. And this is technically probably the most sophisticated pen we've got here. There we go. It's a Twisty. It's a Twisty Owl, and it's a limited edition. This is the green one. I think we've got 2 or 3 left. Also got some ruby ones and so forth. And this one has actually got the stub nib on it, as you can see. Now, if you're not familiar with piston fillers, and many people start with things like Lambie Safaris and so forth, which aren't. What it's really like is just having an inbuilt converter that you operate from outside the pen. So we turn that, drives the piston down, stick it in the ink, and as you draw the piston back up again, it draws ink into the barrel of the pen. And as you can see, there's room for a good deal more ink there than you would get in your average cartridge. Again, the nib is a good quality German nib. It's a Jovo, in fact. Here we go. Not sure whether it says Jovo, it probably says Twisby, but I know that Jovo makes them. This one's £58.99 at the moment. And I think it's a pretty nice pen. And if you look at the Twisby range, you'll see that there's a basic 580. This is the 580 Owl, which is about £10 less expensive. So you've got options there. So there we have the Twisby 580 Owl, available in various colours as well as straightforward aluminium. The Owl refers to the colour of the trim here and also the colour of the mechanism for operating the piston. There we are, which is aluminium rather than being plastic as it is on the less expensive models. But a very nice pen, and we sell lots and lots and lots and lots of them actually. Good stuff. Okay then. Well, that's basically it. Those are the pens that I like. So what we've got here is this one, the Twisby, which is a piston filler. We've got the solid aluminium Lambie Ion, the very traditional, but there's nothing wrong with that, Clio Scribent, the very interesting Opus 88, and again, for a rather more traditional but very colourful look, we've got the Conklin Graph. All of these are available on the website. Have a look, fill your boots. Thank you very much for listening.